I'm sorry, colleagues, for not responding to questions, but I'm sure most of our webinars, we have follow-on discussion groups, and we will pay attention to the questions posted and make sure that we respond to them. But to conclude, we have listened to the TAAT program in the context of the Feed Africa framework, but we have also understood what the Clearinghouse stood for in the TAAT program and has achieved. The other dimension that I think FARA brought to the fore is how we link that to other continental higher goals, as in CAADP at the African continent level. Now, the reason I mention this is that as I listen to the importance of the one CGIAR approach in terms of giving us a coordination mechanism at the country level, it will be important to now juxtapose that against the effort that CAADP XP4 program being supported by the EC is trying to do, bringing all the CAADP Pillar 4 partners together to link up with the NARIs. It would be nice to see how FARA will weave its way to bring the CAADP XP4 partnership to work with the one CG effort, so that we will have a very strong coordination mechanism at the country level. Whilst we see this market-driven approach and understand that a whole lot of processes that we need to put in the space between the technologies and getting food on the table for this 130 million, ensuring that there is that continuous capacities of the relevant actors, the youth, women, private sector. More importantly, how do we ensure there is that continuous capacities that are built in different areas to get the sustainable market-driven approach to agricultural transformation through the TAAT program? So this has been wonderful, and we've been able to listen to very exciting experiences. Of course, the question that is interesting to me is, where is the private sector? As somebody rightly asked, and we really need to deal with this issue the next time we meet. Maybe they should drive this whole agenda and bring them up front as we discuss. Let me call Christian, if Christian has any comments or any news on the follow-on webinars to let us know, so that we can link this to the next set of webinars. So Christian.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Irene. In fact, a lot of people have said, yeah, they would have loved to have more interactions during the session, but we've already spent, I think it's almost 2 hours. What we are planning to do as the follow-up to this inaugural webinar is to organize thematic webinars looking at each and every one of the different commodity compacts, where we'll be looking at examples of the outreach modules that we've developed jointly. We'll also be addressing issues of how do we identify opportunities for agripreneurship within those technology introductions within the value chains. And I think some of the presentations we've had today provide some useful cases that we can analyze further. I think as we go through the discussions, and maybe at FARA we can also formulate a different mode of interaction that is more of a workshop style to follow on these issues. This is the second time this has happened in 2 weeks, where we have interesting topics and the participants asking for more discussions, and we will try to see how we can best bridge from one to the other and have a more interactive sessions, including maybe having some group discussions within these. But as has been announced already on the chat, we have a discussion forum ongoing, and that link has been shared. Maybe Ben can share it again on the link for people to join and follow through with the discussions. And then we'll have the webinar series starting as from the 22nd, and which will be running on a fortnightly basis for over the next 2 months. But by all means, we are here to facilitate the discussion, and if the group would like to go on and request for some thematics to be addressed, it will be our pleasure to organize a session on that. Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. I think the follow-on discussions are very important. All the webinars have needed to do this, so we look forward to that. But let me, on behalf of the Executive Director of FARA, extend very many thanks to Dr. Chianu for gracing this occasion. It's been, personally, I haven't seen you for quite a while, so I'm happy to see you and to hear the passion and the energy that you bring to the TAAT program. Grateful, of course, to Dr. Robin Buruchara. We have missed you for some time, but it's nice to hear you yourself speaking about the PABRA experience and success. Extreme thanks to Dr. Jacques Wery to come in at this time to give us the ICADA wheat success story, bringing the issue of seeds through down to I mean, your presentation was for me not an eye-opener, but the litmus test if we say we want to drive agricultural transformation from a market approach. What are the factors that we need to overcome and the capacities we need to strengthen to get transformation to really happen? And of course, last but not the least, let me thank Dr. Innocent Musabyimana, who I think is the first time you're speaking to the world on the clearinghouse, but you did a yeoman's job making us understand what the clearinghouse has actually achieved, what it stands for, and the next agenda, how it intends to plug into the national systems and help coordinate agricultural research to bring what Jonas says, how do we bring the research products from the shelves to the tables of the teeming poor people that we want to lift out of poverty. So, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, great panel, we thank you very much for this very interesting webinar. And as we promised, the discussion continues. I could see very many interesting questions that we could have dealt with, but I'm sure that the D groups will do justice to the questions. And of course, the follow-on webinars will take on board some of the thematic areas that have come out of this very important opening webinar. Thank you very much. And stay safe. Keep COVID away. Bye for now.